Hi there, my name is Trace and I'll be showing you how to implement the JavaScript map function. As you can see here, we have a simple HTML document with our implementation of map, a array that we want to map over, and the utilization of the function. Now, to get a better understanding of functions, you always have to look up their documentation. If it's a given JavaScript function, then you should always look it up on MDM web docs. So what does map do? It takes an array and a function and it returns a new array with the results of calling that function on the elements of the given array. Sounds a little bit complicated, but it is very easy. So what we need to do is create a result that we want to return, and that result is going to be an array. So let's just return results here. And you can see I'm using the JavaScript ES6. It is powerful, widely implemented. You should really get used to using ES6. But on a side note, you should always check compatibility, because if you were worried about it working in Internet Explorer, you should not use it. It doesn't work at all. But for modern browsers like Edge, Firefox, Chrome, and Safari, it's fully implemented. So get used to using it. It's extremely powerful and everybody is starting to use it. But getting back on track, what we need to do is we need to go through every single element in the given array. And that is best done with a for loop. And here I'm going to be using the given arguments array, which describes the input to the map function here. And that's going to be our greetings and empty array down here. Those are the input. And what it's going to be doing is it's going to be adding to results from the returned value of the function. So let's create a new element, and that's going to be what is returned from arguments 1, the function, called with the ith element of arguments 0. And we want to push that to results. There we have it. We're going to test this real quick. Make sure that we are passing in all the strings from greeting. Open up your document and see what you're given. It seems I'm getting nothing, which means I most likely misspelled something. And you can see here in my iteration, I said I is less than arguments 0, which is an array. It should be arguments 0.length. And now, there you are. We have all these strings passed in as arguments to the function. So now let's look back at map. Let's look at this callback function. It wants a current value, an index, and an array. So let's get rid of arguments, because we are expecting to be given a collection and a callback. Collection being greetings array or any array, callback being a function. And argument 0 now becomes collection. And arguments 1 becomes callback. And callback takes 2 more inputs, 2 more arguments, and that is the current index I and the full collection. And in this function down here, we are going to print out the current element. Make sure everything is still working, and it is, and that's exactly what we want. All 3 strings from greeting printed on separate lines. So we have our map function, but it is just very slightly different from the JavaScript. which you can see here, it doesn't expect to be given array, but it expects the array to call map. So let's take this here, remove collection, put greeting in a place where it calls map, and now collection is undefined. So it becomes this. Make sure we get the same result, and we do. And one last little tidbit, just so that people understand what you want when they read your function, is to create an array.prototype here. That way people know you want to put an array on the left side of map. Now, make sure this still works. It does. Let's move on to our callback function. We now want to create a new paragraph for every string within greeting. So let us create a paragraph now. And I'm going to be using JavaScript instead of jQuery because this is such a small application. There's no point in including such a large library. And we need a message. And that is going to be Ellie. And we are going to append message to paragraph. And we are going to return paragraph. Let us console log our results so we can make sure they are correct. And there you are. There we have it. We have 3 paragraphs, and they all contain the strings within greeting. There you are.